It's a disturbing thought, but the truth is that there are people out there who seem to take pleasure in causing harm to their chosen ones. Have you ever felt exhausted, confused, or constantly nervous around someone? Do you doubt your worth or question your choices after interacting with a specific person? This video delves into the subtle yet powerful signs that you, as a chosen one, may be dealing with a harmful individual. It's comforting to believe that people are genuinely good, but this isn't always true. Some people commit microaggressions, are manipulative, negative, spread toxicity wherever they go, and are happy to see others suffer. You've probably come across individuals who are truly toxic and malevolent, doing things only for their own benefit, often referred to as bad people. When we talk about bad people, we're not talking about common idiots or difficult personalities. We're talking about people who seem to go out of their way to hurt others, who lack empathy and manipulate the people around them. Discovering that you're dealing with a bad person can be a disconcerting and very upsetting experience. These individuals are adept at hiding their true nature and can easily manipulate and harm others. For this reason, identifying the signs of a bad person is essential to warding them off and protecting our mental and emotional health from their wiles. They may seem charming and charismatic at first glance. They may seem to care about you or show an interest in your life. But over time, you may begin to realize that their interest is only superficial and selfish. Imagine you meet someone at an event who seems to be the soul of the party. They're making everyone laugh, telling great stories, and seem genuinely interested in you. You might think you've just made a new friend, but be careful. As you get to know this person better, you may start to notice that they always need to be the center of attention. They may talk over you, interrupt you, or even put you down in front of others. They can also quickly become angry or aggressive if things don't go their way. This is a classic example of someone who seems charming and charismatic at first glance, but is actually quite toxic. In the Bible, Absalom is an excellent example. He was very charismatic and won people's hearts with his charm, but his true intentions were selfish and harmful. Absalom used his charm to rebel against his father, King David, and caused great turmoil in the kingdom. Another sign is a lack of empathy. Empathy simply means being able to understand and share the feelings of others. It's an important trait that helps us connect with other people and form relationships. When someone lacks empathy, it means that they don't care about how their actions or words affect others. Bad people often find it difficult to put themselves in other people's shoes and understand how their actions can impact those around them. They may do things that seem cruel or hurtful without any remorse or guilt. This lack of empathy becomes even more worrying when it goes beyond personal relationships. For example, imagine you have a boss who doesn't care about the well-being of their employees. They may force you to work long hours without overtime pay, ignore your requests for time off, or unfairly criticize you in front of other people. This kind of behavior creates a toxic work environment that affects everyone involved. If you notice that someone seems indifferent to your feelings or the feelings of others, it's worth considering whether you want them in your life. In the Bible, King Saul's lack of empathy for David is evident. Despite David's loyalty and service, Saul's jealousy and hardened heart led him to treat David cruelly and unfairly, demonstrating a profound lack of empathy. They are manipulative. Bad people are often very good at getting what they want, whether that means lying, cheating, or using other forms of manipulation. Have you ever had a friend who always seems to get what they want, no matter what? Perhaps they always know exactly what to say to make you do what they want, and can make you feel guilty when you don't go along with their plans. This is a classic example of manipulation. Not all manipulation is necessarily bad. Sometimes people use these tactics without even realizing it, with good intentions. For example, A parent might manipulate their child into eating vegetables by promising dessert afterwards. That's not necessarily bad, right? But when someone uses manipulation to hurt or control others, that's when it becomes a real problem. The point is that manipulation can be a powerful tool, and it's not always easy to recognize when it's happening to you. Before we move on to the next sign, if you're enjoying this video so far, click the like button and subscribe for more content like this. They are extremely controlling. Now, we all have people in our lives who like things to be done a certain way. Maybe you have a friend who always insists on choosing the restaurant, or a family member who wants to dictate how holidays are celebrated. And that's fine. Everyone has their quirks. But when someone is extremely controlling, it goes beyond just having preferences. They want to control every aspect of your life and won't stop until they make sure things are done their way. So what does extremely controlling behavior look like? It can take many forms. Perhaps they're constantly monitoring you, wanting to know where you are and what you're doing at all times. They may try to isolate you from your friends and family, ensuring that they are the only person you can turn to. They may also try to micromanage everything you do, from the way you dress to the way you speak. And if you try to react, they may resort to threats, intimidation, or even violence. This kind of behavior is toxic and can seriously affect your mental and emotional well-being. For example, in the Bible, Jezebel is a notorious example of a controlling and manipulative person. She used her power to control and manipulate the people around her, including her husband, King Ahab, leading to destructive and damaging results for everyone involved. If this describes your situation, it's crucial to set boundaries, or even consider cutting ties with them if they are unwilling to change their behavior. As a chosen one, your mission is to maintain your peace and purpose, and dealing with a controlling person can divert you from your divine path. Protect your energy, set clear boundaries, and make sure you are surrounded by people who respect and support you. Most bad people are pathological liars. They lie about everything, even when there's no reason to. Think about it. If someone lies all the time, it's because they have something to hide or want to manipulate you. They may lie to get what they want, to avoid trouble, or simply for the sake of lying. Unfortunately, bad people are masters of lying. They are adept at twisting your words to make themselves look good, even when they are doing something terrible. Bad people may try to convince you that they can be trusted, but their actions will always speak louder than their words. If you catch someone lying, it's best to keep your guard up and try to distance yourself from them. For example, in the Bible, Satan is referred to as the father of lies, deceiving Eve in the Garden of Eden with false promises and manipulative words. This act of deception led to serious consequences for humanity. They don't feel remorse. Evil people often show no regret for their harmful actions. They can hurt other people, lie or manipulate without feeling any guilt or shame. This lack of remorse indicates a deeper problem, as they are unable or unwilling to take responsibility for their behavior. Imagine you have a friend who constantly does things that hurt you. When you confront them, they never apologize or acknowledge their mistakes. Instead, they may blame you or other people for the situation. This refusal to accept responsibility and show genuine remorse is a clear sign of a bad person. In the Bible, we see a lack of remorse in the actions of Judas Iscariot. After betraying Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, Judas felt regret, but did not seek true repentance or forgiveness. Instead, he allowed his guilt to consume him, leading to his tragic end. His story highlights the destructive consequences of a lack of genuine remorse and repentance. As a chooser, it's crucial to recognize this characteristic. People who show no remorse can continually harm you without ever feeling the need to change. Bad people often display narcissistic traits, showing an inflated sense of self-importance and a deep need for admiration. They may constantly seek validation, believe they are superior to others, and have no genuine concern for anyone other than themselves. For example, you may have a friend who always turns the conversation back on themselves, never shows any interest in your life, and expects constant praise and attention. They may become angry or dismissive if they don't receive the admiration they believe they deserve. This self-centered behavior can be exhausting and damaging to the people around them. In the Bible, we see an example of narcissism in the story of King Nebuchadnezzar. He built a huge golden statue of himself and demanded that everyone worship it. His arrogance and self-importance led to his downfall when God humbled him, making him live like an animal until he recognized God's sovereignty. Evil people often use their experience of lying to lead a double life, deceiving various people without remorse. They can present one face to the world while hiding a completely different side of themselves, often engaging in deceptive or harmful behavior behind the scenes. For example, you may have a colleague who appears to be a dedicated family person, but is secretly involved in unethical activities or relationships that contradict the image they project. This duplicity allows them to manipulate and control different aspects of their lives without facing the consequences of their actions. In the Bible, we see an example of double life in the story of Ananias and Sapphira. They pretended to donate all the profits from the sale of their property to the apostles, while secretly keeping a portion for themselves. Their deception was revealed, leading to serious consequences, showing that living a double life ultimately leads to downfall. Evil people will take the time to get what they want, regardless of whether it hurts you. They may constantly demand your attention, make endless requests, or involve you in their problems, leaving you with little time for yourself or your priorities. For example, you may have a friend who always expects you to drop everything to help them, whether it's doing chores, listening to their complaints, or solving their problems. They show no consideration for your time or well-being, focusing only on their own needs and desires. In the Bible, we see a similar situation with the Pharisees. They often burdened people with excessive demands and rules, consuming their time and energy without offering true spiritual guidance or support. Their actions were more about maintaining control and power than genuinely helping others. They avoid responsibility. Everything we do has a cause and a consequence. We need to be prepared to assume the result of our actions. By not taking responsibility for what they do, they end up putting the blame on someone else who has nothing to do with it. A reprehensible attitude, no doubt, but one that may reflect a fear of taking responsibility. The bad person can hide a low self-esteem. They don't tolerate criticism. You've probably heard the phrase, "Nobody's perfect." We make mistakes from time to time, and that's part of human nature. And then comes the criticism. Of course, no one likes to be criticized, but some criticism, known as constructive criticism, helps us to grow and mature. The problem comes when a person simply can't accept any kind of criticism and sees it as a personal offense. The bad person tends to receive any kind of judgment as something negative and unfair. This type of person tends to have an inflated sense of self-importance and is deeply insecure. They are unwilling to acknowledge their faults or mistakes, and as a result, react defensively to any form of feedback. Instead of seeing criticism as an opportunity to learn and improve, they see it as an attack on their character. This defensive attitude can create a toxic environment where honest communication and growth are stifled. In the Bible, we see an example of this behavior in King Saul. When the prophet Samuel confronted Saul about his disobedience to God's command, Saul initially denied any wrongdoing and then shifted the blame onto others. His inability to accept criticism and take responsibility for his actions led to his downfall. They judge appearances. One of the most unpleasant behaviors there is judging a person by their appearance. Bad people often insult and ridicule others, and this can cause a lot of suffering for those who are the target of this type of attack. Usually, those who act in this way intend to humiliate the other person and thus feel superior. This behavior stems from deep-seated insecurities and the need to assert dominance over others. By belittling someone based on their appearance, these individuals are trying to elevate their own sense of worth. This can manifest itself in various ways, from sarcastic comments about someone's weight or clothes to more overt acts of mockery and derision. In the Bible, we see an example of the negative impact of judging appearances in the story of David. When Samuel was sent to anoint the next king of Israel, he initially judged the sons of Jesse by their outward appearance. However, God reminded Samuel that he looks at the heart, not the outward appearance. David, the youngest and least imposing of Jesse's sons, was chosen because of his heart and character, not his appearance. They don't apologize. Bad people don't accept their faults and always put the blame on the other person. Therefore, apologizing is not part of their dictionary. This makes the people around them upset and offended. Those who don't take responsibility for their actions try to avoid the embarrassment of admitting that they made a mistake, so as not to face their true selves, which are full of flaws. They create intrigues. Some people like to create an atmosphere of discord wherever they go. They enjoy manipulating people for the sheer fun of it, and go to great lengths to achieve their goals. That's why they use tricks involving lies to turn one person against another. They are fake. A bad person can appear at first glance to be very engaging. They pay you compliments, act friendly, and are always willing to help, all to win your trust. But when you're not around, they take the opportunity to badmouth you to others. Discovering that someone you trust is actually a person without character can be very disappointing. They are hypocrites. Some people talk and act one way but think another. They pretend to be something they're not in order to create a false reputation and thus be accepted and even admired by others. They think about themselves and how to deceive others in order to gain some benefit. Since they don't want to face who they are, they prefer to create a character that makes their life easier. So my friends, as you can see, there are bad people all around you. As a chosen one, you are likely to attract this type of person. Your light, your purpose, and your divine mission make you a beacon of hope and strength. But they can also attract those who seek to undermine and hinder your journey. These individuals are attracted to your energy, hoping to benefit from it or diminish it, because they recognize the power within you. It is essential to be aware of these toxic individuals and their behaviors. They may come disguised as friends, colleagues, or even family members, but their intentions are not aligned with your higher purpose. Their presence in your life can be draining, disruptive, and even destructive if you don't recognize and address their influence. As a chosen one, you have the ability to see through their masks and identify their true nature. This awareness is your first line of defense. By understanding the signs of their behavior, you can protect your energy and stay focused on your divine mission. Setting firm boundaries and trusting your intuition will help you face these challenges. Remember, your journey is unique and sacred. You have been given a special role, and it is crucial to safeguard your path from those who seek to harm or hinder you. Surround yourself with those who uplift and support you, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who don't. Your well-being and spiritual growth depend on it. Your well-being and spiritual growth depend on it. Stay vigilant, strong, and focused on your divine mission. You were chosen for a reason, and no amount of negativity from others can dim the light that shines within you. Keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that you have the strength and wisdom to overcome any obstacles that come your way. Thanks for watching today, guys. If you found this discussion useful, be sure to check out our other videos on the channel. And as always, if you have any questions or additions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. See you next time.